Mama Lou's cancer is serious, and they are moving this episode to take care of it. What's good, y'all? This is Erica Vane coming to you right here on Erica Vane TV with another Reasonable Doubt video. And in this one, I'm breaking down season 3, episode number 7. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on your bell notifications so you don't miss out on any of my Reasonable Doubt content and conversations. This episode, while a lot, it was emotionally... It took me there emotionally. Not me dropping a couple tears for Mama Lou, and I can't stand her ass. I don't like Mama Lou. Still don't like Mama Lou, but we didn't want you up out of here. We needed you to actually stay here. We need Jackson not lose her damn mama. Y'all, this episode was just so beautifully done. It was a nice change of pace. It's still very visceral in reference to like pulling emotions from the audience, but in a different way, because we get to see Jax take a step back. We pick up right where we left off in the last episode, and she's getting the news from Eddie about Mama Lou's cancer, and Louis presses Eddie of like, you still need to tell her before he leaves. But because they're focusing on Mama Lou, we don't actually get Eddie revealing what his thing is. There's a bunch of moments in the episode where Jax is having a little bit of push and pull with her dad, which ultimately winds up being a beautiful way to recount for the audience what their relationship has been and how they actually got here, because we only know of what Jackson and Mama Lou have said in reference to who Eddie had been. But in this episode, we get all these flashbacks so we can actually see. But we don't actually get him coming forward about what's going on with him now, because Mama Lou is taken front and center, foremost in the episode. And honestly, I think I was emotional watching various moments and like going through the episode. One, because it's something that's very sad. Like, nobody wants to hear their family member has cancer. No one wants to definitely experience their mother having cancer, and the idea like having to think about the possibility of losing your mother. Like, even when I think about that, it's just like that immediately puts me in a place of like, I cannot imagine. And I've also had a very complicated relationship with my mom. I've also everybody, a lot of people have, I'm not gonna say everybody, but like me and my mom, we don't see eye to eye often, but I don't know what I would do without Miss Girl. And I'll be needing my distance, I'll be needing my space, but again, I don't know what I would do without Miss Girl. So watching Jax navigate this episode and want to step up, be type A, try to get power attorney. Mama Lou is not backing down. Mama Lou don't want no second opinions and don't want Jax to call in all her lawyers. Mama Lou didn't already gave power of attorney to Eddie's ass, and Jax wants to do that. Like, she is doing what the hell she wants to do, and all Jax can do is just sit, pray, and like support her as best as she can, taking any power away or any control away. So that is already rough for Jax. But then also, I think that internally she's grappling with the very real complicated relationship that she's had with her mother. And what made this episode just so beautiful for me is like watching Jax, and shout out to the actress who plays Jax, because I think that she just nailed every single scene. She nailed the peaks and valleys of all the emotions that you might go through with the thoughts and the experience of this particular experience. But what I was thinking about often throughout this is the conflict that Jax feels. Like, you don't want your mom to pass. You don't want your mom to suffer. And you have a very contentious relationship with your mama. You and your mama are going back and forth. Your mama don't be respecting your boundaries. Your mama has put you in a position multiple times to compromise you, to elicit additional trauma from you. And nobody's parents are perfect, but your mama take the damn cake. Like, I like when Chanel was like, the most selfless thing that your mom has ever done is try to keep this from you so that you didn't have to bear the burden of this. And that spoke to like the type of mama that Jax has had. But then we get the flashbacks, y'all. We get the flashbacks, and we get to see the progression of Jax's dad using cocaine all the way up to him using crack. And like, she has a bunch of canon events from when she was 6 years old, from when he was still in the house, when his addiction progressed, certain things that happened all the way up to her mom putting him out of the house and her experience tied to that. And to see the type of mother that Mama Lou was at age 6, that Mama Lou was when she knew that she had to step in and protect her daughter from her daughter's father. I'm like, what the hell happened? What the hell happened in the meantime, in between time, where you were just this fierce protector of your beautiful daughter? And then now where we're at, or even like into, you know, her high school years, when your former ex-husband was sexually assaulting her, Where was that protection in? And I'm just like, Mama Lou, I need more answers, and maybe we won't get them because she don't actually pass away in this episode. And it was touch and go, y'all. That scene when they said that the doctors were ready for them and they went to go get Jax out of the hospital, like church. What did they call that? I'm having a brain fart right now. The church area in the hospital, they come and get Jackson. It's this long hallway they gotta walk down, and I'm just like, oh my god, this lady's gonna die. This lady's gonna die. If this lady die, I'm going boohoo cry right now. I'm going boohoo cry. They did a wonderful job of like building up the tension in that scene up until Jax is actually like, they let them know that she's actually fine, and then we get to know that as the audience when she goes and tells the kids about it. But so much of watching Jax navigate this, when she initially confronts Mama Lou, like, yo, you wasn't gonna tell me, and she's like, well, I didn't want to worry you and you were busy, which there's some merit to that. Cool. And maybe Mama Lou didn't want Jax to step in and become pushy. And then also Eddie makes a point of like, you're still your mom's baby girl, and she still feels like she's supposed to protect you, which that also hit me, because I'm also like, there's some things that my mama be hiding and like don't come forward with. And I'm like, girl, why? If I'm gonna have to fix it anyway, if I'm gonna have to step in anyway, why in the hell would you hide it from me? And then when he said to her, you are still your mom's baby girl, and she still looks at it like it's her job to protect you, so she's not gonna be ready just trying to dump all of her stuff on you. I'm like, oh, okay, that actually makes sense. Fine. And Jax goes through the process of like letting that affect her, and then settling with that, and then ultimately accepting Mama Lou's wishes, accepting Eddie's place because Eddie is here and walking her every step of the way. And quiet as kept, he just oughta, the amount of hell that Eddie put them through when they were younger, he should be here with her at this point in time. He should be taking some of the bulk of the heavy lifting as it pertains to her. Now Mama Lou is going to be recovering at Jax's house because it's an agreement that they made amongst the back and forth that we see prior to her deciding that she's going to do this damn experimental risky surgery that this doctor that she met told her to do. Thank God it worked out. That's all I can say, because Jax would have had that damn man's license if her mama died on that table. But anyway, that is what's happening amongst like the back and forth. So between Jax trying to temper herself and like pushing back with her mama and registering what's going on with her mama, and Jackson out, and Jax and Mama Lou have the contentious relationship, but then Jax is trying to back off because you don't want to send this lady stressed out into surgery. But then she's also having a bunch of contentious moments with Eddie as well. And again, I think that they just weaved in the flashbacks so beautifully, because it's almost, for me, like some of the flashbacks, I could imagine Jax having a flashback herself in that moment, and that being the thing that drew up additional emotions and had her pushing even harder when it came to navigating her father. We got to see flashbacks where Jax took her little toy compact mirror, asked her friends for some Fun Dip powder, took the straw out of some random ass cup and tried to sniff the Fun Dip because she was being like daddy. To which that's how Mama Lou even found out that Jax knew that he was doing cocaine. And it was interesting because when I was listening, I'm like, did you already know, Mama Lou? But mamas be knowing. And then up until like he does his overdose, where I think they might have been put out of that apartment because he overdosed there, but that's not really clear. It doesn't actually, they don't actually like tell us that, but it's so many great moments that we get to see flashbacks with Jax at age 6 and like her mom and her dad, and those are like intercut in various moments in the episode, but also when she's having the contentious moments. And I like the moment where she goes to see Mama Lou and she's trying to get the power of attorney, and Eddie's in the back just playing his guitar, and Jax pushes is like, yo, of course you pop up now, like how convenient. And we get a flashback in that moment too, but then she comes back and she's just like, you like haven't been here. And it's still so much that Eddie has to atone for. It honestly put him popping up now into even greater context, because prior to us actually having these flashbacks, all we have to go off of is what Jax is saying of like, you are a crackhead and you did this and you abandoned our family. Not only did you abandon the family, but you put them through specific canon events and traumatic moments before you were exiled out. And now you're back. And now you're hiding something else. So while y'all got through this as a family, which we get to see throughout the episode, the progression of like Jax kind of like, okay, I got to figure this out. And then kind of conceding into what Mama Lou wants and allowing her dad to take the position. And also just leaning on everybody around ultimately until they get to the end. And then she's actually fine. But it sucks because Jax won't even get the reward of like the surrender that she offered up in this episode because Eddie is still hiding something. Eddie still is holding something. And all of this like kind of like work that has been done to like trust your parents and to like lean in and to like lean on family and not need to be big ass badass Jack Stewart that fixes everything and swoops in and like makes all of these decisions. Yes, to a certain extent, like she realized like, okay, I can lean on them, but Eddie is just coming around the corner, slap her ass in the face, and then send her back to a place of not being able to trust. And then also, I'm wondering, does Mama Lou know about whatever the hell Eddie is hiding from Jax that Lewis knows? And then I'm not mad at Lewis for not saying nothing because the surgery is the thing that takes most precedent, but it's also just like, at this point, we have a good moment. Yes, she survives, but then now I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop because how bad is the news that Eddie is holding? My word. Now, also, in this episode, Jax is like advised to take a little step back, and Bill steps up and shows up for her, gets a continuance so that she can take some time off to be with her mom, even though the partners are trying to push of like, well, we trying to do this merger, so that's not going to work. And he's like, well, it's going to work for Jax. And I'm like, okay, Bill, but I'm also not going to get back on your side because you haven't declared yet. I know that you still smacking Sally's cakes with her trollopy behind. I'm so ready for Sally to be done. Chanel won me over this episode. I'm like, oh no, Chanel's actually a real friend. So I'm gonna go ahead back to the last season. I'm gonna let all of this slide because you killed your man, and all of the things tied to that. Okay, and you were protecting your daughter. I'm gonna let you slide, Chanel, but Sally is still a friend that needs to be excised out of the damn friend group. Nobody's gonna tell me anything otherwise. And you running around with Jax's co-counsel and colleague, even though I'm pretty sure that Jax has communicated to you what's going down at her damn law firm and how these people are doing her. Not to say that Bill has to be one of them, but when she finds out, like Jax finds out that she still smashed, or she started smashing him, it's because she found out about Mama Lou from him. And then she gets to talk about, he's a great guy. You're about to tell her about her colleague and coworker that you met through her? Sally, take your ass somewhere else. And I love how Jax handled it. She was 2 seconds off that damn nicotine. So shout out to Chanel one more time because she kept her off the damn nicotine. But Sally, no. Sally is a friend that gotta get dropped. I'm sorry. That could be your cousin all day, Chanel, but Sally's your problem, not everybody else's. We need to go ahead and release her ass because she's selfish and she's self-destructive. In other news, y'all, I know last episode I was like, I'm not here for Lewis. Something about the scene when Lewis was sitting at the hospital in the hallway by himself and Jax walks up and he has tears in his eyes. I'm like, damn, he's actually present. Let me find out he's cosplaying a good husband. Not cosplaying. He seems so genuine. And I'm like, could I take my foot off his neck? I don't know. But in the moment, I felt for him and I felt like he was a present husband. I felt like he stepped in this moment of deep grief for Jax and like her processing to be a good partner. And I'm glad that Jax had all the support that she had, whether it's Bill turning from his little wayward ways and putting his foot down so that he can be what Jax needed in this moment on the career front, to Lewis on the husband front. I'm glad. But you know what? Nope, I'm not taking my foot off of Lewis's neck because the same way that Bill is still a snake, even though he did this one good thing, there we go. Okay, we back. I still can keep my foot on Lewis's neck. I can give him credit for how he handled himself and his wife in this episode and still know that he's raggedy as hell and I don't like his ass. Love that. Now, what else happened? Why do I feel like I'm missing something? I don't know. What am I missing? I almost missed the biggest thing. Ozzy's sister did it, y'all. Ozzy's sister did it. Alex has some type of proof, something that he can use to make a little bit of a coin because he's poor. And this girl is helping to kill that man. What was he, hit by a truck or something? What the hell? and then you go into the hospital to finish the job. Ozzy's sister did it. Put her ass under the jail. I don't trust her. Daniel, you was thinking on your feet, but baby, if the sister wasn't simple, you would have been found out. It's clear that you following this lady. Clear as day. We get context because the last episode, remember, I was like, I don't know what the journalists have to do with anything and all of this, but apparently Ozzy's sister is the one who like shut down the whole story. Alex is trying to write a tell-all book about Ozzy and his family because he poor. We already know that. He need money. He ain't been booking nothing. And his sister is involved somehow, and his ass ended up in the ICU, and it looks like this man codes and dies by the end of the episode. I'm not going, until we get a confirmation and we actually see a body, I'm not going to say that he's dead, but he damn close, and she's exiting the hospital as they trying to keep this man alive, talking about, he ain't gonna be saying nothing. Excuse me? So you did this to this boy. I went and put it past that you did it to Wendy. And honestly, y'all, am I thinking that Ozzy did it now with his sister? No, because how they engage with one another, it doesn't feel like they got a thing that they need to stick together and they protecting each other from. So I'm going to say the sister did it. Ozzy don't have nothing to do with it. The sister took Wendy out too. That's my speculation as of now. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Reasonable Doubt has been phenomenal this season. The writing is exemplary as always. Shout out to Ramala and everyone involved. Thank you so much for such an incredible show. Let me know your thoughts, your theories in the comment section down below so that we can keep the conversation going. I know on my last breakdown, there was a comment and I responded to it. But if this young lady or I don't know the gender actually. So the young person who the comment belongs to is watching this, I hope you don't take no offense, babes, but you had the feedback of like the trial didn't seem real because of Monica not being brought up by the prosecution, but the prosecution is responsible for their own case. So if you have any questions about what I said, I literally said that in like conversation and not like, oh no, gotcha, I gotcha. Like, let's have the conversation. But I definitely disagree with a bunch of things that you said. But that's what the comment section is for us to further the conversation, for us to deepen the conversation. And I cannot wait to do so about this episode as well. So I'll see you down there.